Philadelphia, a city of history and resilience, has a shadowed past shaped by a few powerful figures. These individuals rose from the streets, commanding loyalty and influence that changed the city forever. In this video, we reveal the untold stories of Philadelphia's most feared kingpins, how they built their empires, ruled the underground, and left a legacy that still echoes today. Who were they? How did they rise? Let's uncover the secrets behind their reign. Number 8. Shakim Johnson. Shakim Johnson, a 27-year-old from Philadelphia, emerged as a key member of a widespread operation responsible for distributing substantial quantities of illicit substances across southeastern Pennsylvania and beyond. This enterprise, which began in 2019, extended its reach to New Jersey, Maryland, and West Virginia, operating with a structured hierarchy that positioned Johnson as one of its principal figures. Collaborating closely with others, Johnson played a crucial role in managing the transport, distribution, and financial transactions that sustained the network. The operation utilized sophisticated methods, including the shipment of substances from Los Angeles to Pennsylvania through services like UPS and the U.S. Postal Service. Between October 2019 and December 2021, investigators identified over 90 suspicious packages linked to this organization, with several containing significant quantities of the materials. The group leveraged modern financial tools, using digital payment platforms to send large sums to their suppliers. Johnson's activities came to light following the arrest of another individual in March 2021, which led authorities to uncover the larger network. An undercover investigation revealed Johnson's involvement in distributing substances, with his actions contributing to the organization's supply of over 800 pounds of illicit material during its operation. On March 15, 2023, Johnson was apprehended alongside several associates during a coordinated operation involving multiple agencies. Authorities executed search warrants across several states, seizing large amounts of substances, firearms, and cash. Johnson was charged with over 100 felony counts, including conspiracy and possession with intent to distribute. His bail was set at $1 million, and he remains in custody pending trial. Number 6. Joseph Salvatore. Skinny Joey Merlino. Joseph Salvatore, Skinny Joey Merlino, born on March 13, 1962 in Philadelphia, rose to prominence as the reputed leader of the Philadelphia crime family during the 1990s. Known for his charisma and outgoing personality, Merlino's leadership style set him apart from the traditional low-profile mob bosses. He gained notoriety for his high-profile lifestyle, hosting public charity events and mingling with the media while allegedly overseeing illegal operations, including gambling, extortion, and the distribution of illicit substances. Merlino's early associations with the underworld were deeply rooted in his upbringing. His father, Salvatore "Chucky" Merlino, was a key figure in the Philadelphia crime family, and young Joey grew up surrounded by individuals involved in organized activities. His connection to the inner circle of the Philadelphia mob began early, reinforced by close friendships with future associates. By the late 1980s, Merlino was making headlines for confrontations, one of which involved an attack on 2 individuals in Atlantic City, leading to his conviction for assault. In the early 1990s, Merlino became involved in a violent power struggle within the Philadelphia crime family. He was part of a younger faction that opposed the leadership of John Stanfa, leading to a series of violent confrontations that captured public and law enforcement attention. Despite facing multiple attempts on his life, Merlino solidified his position as a central figure in the organization. When Stanfa and his allies were arrested and convicted in 1994, Merlino emerged as a key leader alongside Ralph Natale, although Merlino was widely regarded as the true power behind the scenes. In 1999, Merlino faced significant legal challenges when he was charged with racketeering and other crimes, including orchestrating violent acts and distributing illicit substances. Key testimony from former associates turned government witnesses led to his conviction on several charges, including extortion and illegal gambling. In 2001, he was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. After his release in 2011, Merlino relocated to Florida and publicly distanced himself from organized crime, focusing on legitimate ventures, including opening a restaurant in Boca Raton. However, legal troubles persisted. In 2016, he was arrested again in a major federal investigation and later pleaded guilty to a gambling-related charge, resulting in a 2-year prison sentence. By 2024, Merlino's ties to the Philadelphia crime family reportedly came to an end. He was demoted and expelled from the organization, a rare and notable development in the world of organized crime. Number 5. Javier Cornelio Fabian. Javier Cornelio Fabian, a 43-year-old from Philadelphia, became a key figure in a significant operation involving the distribution of illicit substances across southeastern Pennsylvania. Acting under the leadership of Richard Nunes, Fabian was instrumental in managing the movement and transactions of these substances, which were packaged and prepared for street-level distribution. The operation centered around a property on the 2700 block of Elbridge Street in Philadelphia, where Fabian and Nunes worked to process and distribute substances with a street value estimated at $3.6 million. The operation came under scrutiny when investigators from the DEA and Montgomery County detectives discovered its scale and sophistication. Fabian's role was revealed through a detailed undercover investigation, during which he was observed engaging in the direct sale of significant quantities of these substances. On one occasion, he sold a kilo of unaltered material to an undercover officer, providing critical evidence of his involvement in the enterprise. Fabian's activities also included arranging the sale of approximately 8.8 pounds of unaltered substances to a buyer at the King of Prussia Mall on January 23, 2024. Authorities tracked his movements as he coordinated with Nunes to transfer materials, solidifying their operational hierarchy. Fabian was apprehended on his way to the transaction site, while Nunes was arrested shortly afterward in Philadelphia. Law enforcement seized nearly 400,000 doses of the illicit substances, disrupting a significant supply chain. Fabian was charged with multiple felonies related to the enterprise, including conspiracy and trafficking. His bail was set at $2 million, and he remains in custody at the Montgomery County Correctional Facility. Number 4. Alexander Rivera. Alexander Rivera, also known as Reds, was a notable figure in the Philadelphia criminal landscape, leading the Alexander Rivera Narcotics Distribution Organization. Born and raised in Philadelphia, Rivera controlled significant illicit substance distribution operations from 2006 to 2010, particularly in North Philadelphia, where his group dominated the intersections of Indiana Avenue and Lawrence Street. His operations included the acquisition and street-level distribution of substances such as cocaine, crack, and other illegal substances. Rivera's organization was marked by its strict territorial control, relying on intimidation and coordinated actions to maintain dominance. His leadership was defined by orchestrated efforts to secure and expand Ardo's influence in Philadelphia's neighborhoods. Rivera's wife, Ileana Vidal, and several associates played key roles within the organization, which was supported by a network of individuals responsible for storage, distribution, and enforcement. The authorities began investigating Rivera's activities following an increase in violence and illegal dealings linked to his group. By 2010, a federal investigation spearheaded by the FBI in collaboration with the Philadelphia Police Department exposed the full scope of Rivera's operations. The investigation uncovered that Ardo not only distributed illicit substances, but also resorted to threats and violence to enforce its control. Notable incidents included physical confrontations with rivals, financial disputes involving threats, and the strategic use of stash houses to hide illicit materials. Rivera was also linked to coercive activities that further cemented his group's power. Rivera's downfall came in September 2010, when he, his wife, and several associates were apprehended following coordinated raids. These operations resulted in the seizure of cash, substances, and firearms. He was charged and later convicted of conspiracy and other serious crimes, culminating in a life sentence plus additional penalties. Rivera is currently serving his sentence in federal custody. Number 3. Richard Nunes. Richard Nunes, a 45-year-old from Philadelphia, became a central figure in an extensive investigation into an illicit substance distribution network that spanned southeastern Pennsylvania. His activities drew significant attention from law enforcement when it was determined that he, along with his associate Javier Cornelio Fabian, 43, orchestrated the trafficking of large quantities of these substances. The operation was reportedly headquartered at a property on the 2700 block of Elbridge Street in Philadelphia's Mayfair neighborhood. Authorities uncovered that the network was producing and distributing massive quantities of substances, including a particularly concerning variety referred to as red. Investigators noted that this variant seemed to have been altered or marked to differentiate it from other sources in the region. The investigation began when undercover agents, including a Montgomery County detective, infiltrated the organization. During the operation, Fabian was observed attempting to transfer substantial quantities of unaltered substances to buyers. On January 23, 2024, surveillance revealed Nunes meeting Fabian in Philadelphia to hand over a bag containing these materials. Fabian was later apprehended en route to a transaction at the King of Prussia Mall, while Nunes was taken into custody in Philadelphia. In total, law enforcement seized nearly 400,000 doses of illicit substances, valued at approximately $3.6 million. Nunes was charged with multiple felonies related to the enterprise. Nunes was denied bail, as he was deemed a flight risk, as he remained in custody as his legal proceedings continues. Number 2. Lamont Lewis. Lamont Lewis, a Philadelphia man whose actions left an indelible mark on the city's streets, played a pivotal role in one of the most harrowing events in the city's history. Lewis was closely associated with a dangerous network led by Kaboni Savage. As a trusted member of Savage's group, Lewis's role was instrumental in carrying out acts designed to intimidate and eliminate opposition, cementing his reputation within the network. In October 2004, Lewis's involvement in a catastrophic event brought national attention. Acting under orders from Savage, Lewis worked with others to carry out a calculated attack on the family of Eugene Coleman, a federal witness cooperating against the network. The plan, devised to send a chilling message, involved targeting Coleman's family home. Following explicit instructions, Lewis and an associate prepared incendiary devices and executed the act during the early morning hours, leading to a devastating outcome that claimed multiple lives, including those of young children. This incident underscored the lengths the group was willing to go to protect their operations. Lewis's role extended beyond this event, as he admitted to involvement in additional acts that served to enforce the group's dominance and retaliate against perceived threats. These activities were part of a larger pattern of coordinated efforts within the network to suppress cooperation with authorities and maintain control over their operations. In 2011, Lewis pleaded guilty to his role in the attack and other crimes, including multiple violent acts and activities linked to illicit substances. As part of his plea agreement, Lewis agreed to cooperate with federal prosecutors, providing critical testimony against Kaboni Savage, Savage's sister Kidada, and other associates. His cooperation was instrumental in securing convictions, with Savage receiving a death sentence and others facing life imprisonment. Lewis himself was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with the court considering his testimony as a significant factor. Today, he remains incarcerated in a prison in the United States. Number 1. Kaboni Savage. Kaboni Savage, born on January 1, 1975 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was a drug kingpin whose name became synonymous with organized crime, brutality, and mass murder. A former student at Frankfurt High School, Savage initially dabbled in boxing at the Front Street Gym in North Philadelphia, even winning his only professional fight. However, his life took a darker turn after the demise of his father when Savage was 13, steering him towards the illicit world of narcotic trafficking. Savage began as a small-time illicit substance dealer in Hunting Park, but quickly rose through the ranks to become one of the most feared figures in Philadelphia's criminal underworld. From 1998 to 2004, he oversaw the distribution of hundreds of kilograms of illicit substance throughout the city. His organization maintained control through intimidation, violence, and manslaughter. Savage's gang operated narcotic corners and engaged in money laundering, witness tampering, and ruthless retaliation against rivals and informants. Savage's reign was marked by extreme violence. In 1998, he was accused of terminating a stranger, Kenneth Lassiter, after a minor parking incident, though he was acquitted due to the manslaughter of the lead witness, Tibius Flowers, a crime Savage was suspected of orchestrating. He also ordered the termination of Carlton Brown, a rival narcotic dealer, in 2001. Savage's approach was calculated and merciless, as he sought to eliminate anyone who posed a threat to his enterprise, including former associates. In one of his most heinous acts, Savage orchestrated the 2004 firebombing of a North Philadelphia row house, which assassinated 6 people, including 4 children. This was an act of retaliation against Eugene Coleman, a former associate turned federal witness. While Savage was already in custody, he coordinated the attack through his sister, Kidada Savage, and other gang members. The victims included Coleman's 54-year-old mother, his infant son, and several relatives. Savage's criminal activities finally caught up with him when he was indicted in May 2004 on narcotic trafficking, money laundering, and firearms charges. While in custody, investigators uncovered evidence linking him to the firebombing and several other manslaughter incidents. The case against Savage relied heavily on wiretapped conversations, informants, and the testimony of former associates. In 2013, Savage was convicted on 17 charges, including 12 counts of manslaughter in aid of racketeering. On May 13, 2013, Savage was sentenced to 13 death sentences, 1 for each of the 12 manslaughters, and an additional count of witness intimidation. He became the first man from Philadelphia in modern history to receive a federal death sentence. Savage was incarcerated at the ADX Florence Supermax prison in Colorado, where he continues to serve his jail time. However, in December 2024, his death sentence was commuted by President Joe Biden to life imprisonment without parole as part of a broader effort to move away from the federal death penalty.